Yo, what is up, YouTube? My name is Carter Colson, coming back to you on the tube, and today we are going to be talking about games that have an M rating on it, specifically shooter games, but most games don't feel like an M rating, and I'm going to be explaining why. What I mean by it, guys, is this. Have you ever played a game from like your beloved series that just never like back then the developers just never cared about offending people then with whatever jokes or controversial sayings up their sleeve? And have you just ever played stuff like that, and you might have laughed at the joke because the joke was funny, but then you play that same series, like, you play the same series when a new game in that series comes out, and then you play it, and then you realize, oh, the game, and then you realize that the game is like, way too sensitive, but yet it has an M rating in it, and you kind of just think, like, why does this game have an M rating when, like, most of the things in the game are censored and it doesn't feel like an M rating, like, whatsoever? Now, if you're confused by it, what I'm basically trying to get at is that developers nowadays seem to censor everything in games possible. Like, most developers that you loved once before have censored everything. And do you want me to tell you why that is? Well, the main reason that developers are doing this is most likely because of the fact that they're scared of any sort of controversy and scared of backlash from people due to certain jokes or controversial missions in games. Like, an example of like major censoring would be one game in particular called the Saints Row reboot. Now, obviously, the Saints Row fans might have heard it. Even if you're not a Saints Row fan, you probably definitely heard about the game. You know the backlash that it got. It got a ton of backlash when it came out, and still now. Because basically, in the older Saints Row games, if you played the older ones, there were two names in particular that, had like certain funny jokes in them. One of the places in the game was the car mechanic shop called Rim Jobs. Rim Jobs was, a car mechanic place, but it was also like a sexual joke in Saints Row 1 through 4. It was just a funny, crazy name they came up with. Saints Row was, I wouldn't say it was always over the top. I mean, sometimes it was, but like it had dark moments. Like Saints Row 1 and 2 was a dark game, but it did have some over the top moments, and like the whole rim jobs, that was like a funny joke. But it was kind of just a funny, crazy game. But then there was another restaurant in the game called Freckle Bitches, which was supposed to be a parody off of a fast food chain, Wendy's. And there was this saying like, "Oh, you can't beat our meat." I bet you know what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, that was basically the whole joke about it. And again, funny, crazy game. It was just a funny joke, and developers didn't care about offending people at that point. But the Saints Row reboot had come out in like 2022, and if you play that game versus the older games, you can tell that they just censored a ton of stuff, a decent bit of stuff, like FBs, or Freckle Bitches, which is now FBs. It doesn't even have the funny joke anymore, or the funny writing like it had in Saints Row 1 and 2, and it just isn't there, and the joke's not funny. And then the car mechanic shop Rim Jobs was changed to Jim Robs in order of the character being called JR, but now the whole sexual joke is gone and it's not even funny anymore. And what I don't understand about it is, if Volition is making a gangster game, why are you having these gangsters freaking say like a bunch of swear words every like freaking few minutes in cutscenes, but the moment that a sexual joke arouses and shows up, the freaking guys are just like, "Oh, well, we can't put that in our game because that's gonna be too offensive. Oh my god, I'm so scared." Like, what is the joke in that? You might as well just remove all the swearing and not even call it Saints Row at that point if you're so scared of that. But yeah, you'll have characters and the boss swearing every 10 seconds and whatnot. And Kevin talking about his waffle maker, which I wish I could throw one at his face if I saw him, but if I was in the game, bro. But like, it's whatever. He's annoying. But yeah, that was the point I was trying to prove with that. Another game though, COD World War II was another game that had apparently received some sort of censorship. and this is a game from 2017, by the way, so these are old, but it still contains to the topic I'm talking about. But apparently in COD World War II, there was like some parts in the game when you played the campaign, and there were supposed swastikas in the game, but it got changed in favor of a cross for some odd reason. And what I don't understand about that is, if you're making a game about history, why are you censoring what happened in history? Don't change history, because history can't be changed. So why are you changing history when you know it's going to be like hella inaccurate? Vanguard suffered the same issue with a bunch of inaccuracies in the game, but COD World War II had suffered that same problem. Now this is just stuff that I've heard, so I'm going off of like what I've heard and whatnot, but like it just doesn't make sense, because why are you censoring history? It doesn't really make any sense at all. Don't worry about controversy, don't worry about the backlash, but whatever. Another game is GTA. GTA is probably one of the few games I could actually classify as a rated M game, like a true rated M game that doesn't care about offending people, because GTA is basically a parody of modern America. And you know, whatever is happening in the real world is basically happening in GTA. But there are also some controversial missions in it too. Like in GTA 5, if you played the story mode, you definitely have heard the mission Buy the Book. If you don't know what the mission is, let me explain it for you. Buy the Book is a mission in GTA 5 where you torture an innocent man. His name is Mr. K, or Ferdinand Karamov. You know, you bring him into this random warehouse in this like isolated area, and you basically have to torture him with a bunch of different stuff, you know, pliers, waterboarding, car battery, wrench, and you know, you torture him to try to get info about a supposed terrorist called Tahir Javan, and you have to torture him in order to do it. That mission alone got a pretty fair helping of controversy due to the mission being where you have to torture someone. And you know, anti-torture people were like pretty upset about it, but the point of the mission is to show you that torture doesn't work. It like never works. So torturing someone can sometimes get you the wrong info, and even worse, could get the wrong person killed. But yeah, there was a bunch of controversy surrounding that. But GTA, like, alone just has had a bunch of controversy, not just in that mission, but, like, in regards to real life. Like, you know, people committing murders because of GTA, people will say. People committing carjackings because GTA showed them and told them to, as people would say, especially, like, the news companies. But video games don't cause violence, and I will stand by that until I literally die. I will stand by that. But the thing is, like, Rockstar never really cared about controversy, so they never really censored much of their games. Red Dead Redemption 2 actually got a little bit of a controversy too, because there was a YouTuber named Shirako who had posted a video of taking a feminist to alligators or something like that, and the video got a fair helping of controversy where some news company called this YouTuber out on it and saying that it was like offensive and shows violence against women and whatnot. But if you really think about it, if you play video games, like, it's not gonna cause you to act out in the real world. Like, don't believe the people that say it will, because it literally won't. The point I'm trying to prove is that most games nowadays have an M rating, when, in my opinion, most games in current day kind of just shouldn't, because why are you going to have a game that's M rated and then just censor a bunch of crap? Like, it just never made any sense to me. Anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I'm sorry for the long video, so I'm going to get off here. So, yeah, have a good rest of your night and day, everyone.